So this video is a perfect example of an overreaction, and that was the main reason I wanted to make this video. Let's put it this way, you and I will both see some live event happening in this video and of course in the coming week. Let me explain. So I never shy away from sharing my trades as I feel it gives an opportunity to both you and me to look at the companies with a more objective viewpoint rather than emotions. Let's walk through what happened with Apple on Friday, and do mention in comments if you played any trades on the news. I'm going to share my screen now. So Apple dropped on Friday, middle of the day, and it was a sharp decline. So I googled the news and this is what popped. Judge orders Apple to ease restriction on app developers. Okay, now the first reaction for anyone reading the news would be, this is not good for Apple because the money that they make on these transactions, which could be as much as 30%, and I'll show in just a second, is in jeopardy. So now this is not good because the billions Apple generate from these sales are just pure profit that they get from hosting the app download, literally. So this is what the article said, that the judge ordered Apple to start letting developers include links in their app to other payment method within 90 days. That means when a customer signs up for a subscription or buy a digital service or item on an iPhone app, companies can now steer those customers to outside websites to complete the transaction, and Apple can miss out as much as 30% on the commission fee. Okay, so let me share a personal experience. So I have a LinkedIn premium account and I signed up via Apple using the Apple app or using the LinkedIn app on Apple. Now I wanted to upgrade to a different level. I went in my LinkedIn app and they had a message saying, since you bought the subscription from Apple, you need to go to them for upgrade, as I had already paid in full for the full year. I went to Apple and they were like, well, we are simply the facilitator and you need to go to LinkedIn. In short, I went back and forth for like 3 times before the issue was resolved by Apple. It was Apple who resolved it for me. Okay, coming back to our topic. As per this judgment, apps like these can be subscribed or purchases can be made outside Apple is what judge is saying, and judge is giving them 90 days, different methods of payment. Now the stock took a nosedive. It's big for Apple to move 3 to 4% in a day as the company is mature and their stock is very stable. I usually use Apple to park my money, so I get something in return better than a checking account, or forget checking, but better than savings account. Now for some this was fear, but for me this was pure opportunity, and this is what I did. Look, Apple is a multi-trillion-dollar company. Regardless of what changes come through, as long as we are using iPhone or playing games or reading news, Apple will think a way to make the lost money. I mean, they can just add 15% fee to the developers for hosting the app, and developers will pay them with a big thank you. Because Apple is a platform, and in my opinion, platform has limitless value. For example, so many small merchants complain about Amazon all the time, but they still host their products because they cannot survive without Amazon. Same is true with Apple. Apple is an ecosystem, and if you want to be a part of that, then you have to follow their rules. Trust me, my business has a Mac app, and I know how the system works. If they turn around and start charging me 20% fee to host, I'll still do it because I have so much invested in the app. So after this news, I placed few trades, and by understanding of the situation, I immediately bought few calls for this coming Friday, which is happening, and that's why I'm releasing this video on a Sunday, because you will see what happens on Monday and Tuesday, and you will know what happened to my calls. Now, new iPhone is coming on Tuesday, and I usually do not play much until after the event, but this news was good enough for me to just do a very small play, and that's what I did. Then a few hours later, I'm gonna come to the bet in just a second. This article came right here. Epic Games to appeal decision in App Store lawsuit. Apple calls it a huge win. Now this is contradicting the previous article that came out. This is saying that Apple has won, but then why did Apple drop? So this article basically is saying that the judge has asked Apple to do that, not ordered, but have asked. And of course, Apple can come back and basically contest, but we don't know that yet. And they're saying that the judge ruled in Apple's favor on all other counts because it was not one count. There were multiple counts that Apple had. For instance, Apple was not shown to have a monopoly, nor must be compelled to allow third-party app stores or alternate third-party payment system inside the app itself, as Epic had hoped. So basically they're saying in a statement, Apple described the decision as a huge win. Now at a high level, the article mentions here, the consequence of the judgment mirrored the settlement Apple agreed with the Japanese Commission earlier this month, except all apps will be allowed to link out an alternate payment method, not just reader apps, which is fine. So As it stands out, Apple is not forced to restore Epic. Again, that's another thing. And Epic CEO was tweeting different things about when I was recording this video. So when you read this article, you kind of feel that, you know what, it's not that bad as it sounds. So now let me show you the trade I made. Again, this was just to prove my point. It can be very well fall flat on my face, but you and I will both witness what happens with Apple next week. So this is the Apple chart. As you can see, as soon as the news came out, Apple took a nosedive and then it's continued to fall flat. Now, two things are happening on the chart here. Number one, volume is high. That means more sellers are getting out, taking the profit. They're saying, oh my God, Apple is going down to dust, or whatever their thinking is, and they're just taking their Friday profits. Along with that, if you look at RSI is under 30, which is basically oversold category. From this point, Apple has a much higher probability of going up because it's like oversold. If you see here, right here, just compare these two numbers. Apple was down right here at 148 something, and look at the RSI, it's all the way down. As soon as RSI came to the 30 level, the stock went up a little bit. So I was watching this, and this is what I did. So these are my Apple holdings, so let's not concern on that. 7,739.69 share because Apple pays dividend and I reinvested dividend in buying the stock. That's why you see this odd number here. And this is the position that I opened last week because of the new iPhone coming out. I did a put vertical, so we are not going to discuss this position as well. Because of the red day, this also went down 16%. This was up almost 15% on Friday in the morning, but because of the news, it just came down. This is what I opened. I got two September 17th $150 calls. And I bought calls. Again, I'm not big on buying calls at this time, but this news was good enough reason for me to buy a call. Now, I only paid like $2.40 for it, or $240 for each call, so $480 for two calls. It's not a big bet at all. But what I'm trying to make my point here is that this is the overreaction of the news. Because what's going to happen is that on Monday and on Tuesday, because Tuesday is the event, Apple is going to track up, in my opinion. Again, it could be the market could have a big sell-off and Apple could go even further down. I'm going to lose it all, and that's okay, because again, this was something that I usually do when it's a news like this that comes out. I don't double down on it until the news is so strong, like the Affirm news, and I actually bought 1,000 shares of Affirm as soon as the partnership was announced because I knew that was a big deal. But on a news like this, I just play small just to see how the market is going to react, and I can keep an eye on the stock and also on the news. So a company like Apple, it's not easy to shake their revenue or profits by a lawsuit. It'll take a lot more. Something like everyone is dumping their iPhones, like what happened with BlackBerry, and then I'll be nervous. I feel Apple will recover and be just fine, and the stock will see new high highs. The only thing that I'm concerned this holiday season and this year is the chip shortages. And how will that affect the supply and pricing for the holiday season? That's my biggest concern with Apple, because I know everybody is being affected. Let me know if you played any of the trades on Apple on Friday on this news. I actually wanted to sell some cash covered puts, but I had a meeting from 3 to 5, so I totally missed that. But I know I'll get another chance. I hope I provided some value in today's video, and if you liked it, then consider subscribing, as a lot of the viewers have not subscribed, and hit the like button so we can reach out to more Apple lovers. As always, thank you for being here. Love you all. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.